This video is sponsored by Professor. If you guys don't know what this is yet, what's going on, man? I use it every game, and here's why. Professor is an app for League that gives you detailed information on the players in your games. You'll be able to see who's good and who's bad in your game so that you know who to play for and who's playing on their refrigerator. Sometimes you play for a person who has no idea what they're doing and they end up throwing the game, so Professor can save you from that. But not only is it good in-game, Professor also has a built-in client of its own, which is 10 times better than the League client. Here you can find useful information, including meta overviews, builds for your champion, replays you can check out, and this beautiful profile interface that includes a bunch of useful statistics to help you improve. So download Professor for free, get useful information, and see how much of a difference it makes in your games. Thank you, Professor. Let's get into the video. Alright guys, here we go. It's good to be back. And we are going to go over some good old Kha'Zix. Sit back, relax. This is a good ass game. And yeah, it should be good, man. Now, we're versing as Silas. I don't know why, but I've been seeing Silas everywhere. I don't know if it's whether because he's like meta, but I just keep versing Silas jungle. And it's, you know, he's definitely pretty strong, but nothing a Kha'Zix can't handle. So we're going to go ahead and drop the ward into the bush, into the raptor pit, so we can see where Silas starts. And we are going to start on our own raptors. And it should be, you know, totally fine in this game. Now, we're running Hairless Blades. Why? I just felt like it. Sometimes I just feel like running Hob, and so I run it. It's as simple as that. If you want consistency, then just run Dark Harvest or some shit. Something you're comfortable with. But me, I'm comfortable with Hob, so I run it. You know, and you'll see the power of this rune in a lot of areas of this game. Yeah, it's really good. Really good, this game. And we're just going to start on the raptors and go for a full clear, as we normally do pretty much every game, because Ka is you know, super dependent on farm. Now, it has been a while since I played League, but you know, in typical Riot fashion, absolutely nothing has changed in regards to Summoner's Rift. It is the exact same game it has been since like 2 years ago, so you know, nothing to really talk about change wise, but yeah, we're just gonna keep clearing. And I'm actually a bit frustrated because I recorded this game a while ago, but apparently the recording has been lost in translation, so here we are doing it again. But it's okay. So we're doing a bit of pings here. The missing ping here onto the raptor camp is basically just, I mean, I should probably ping more here because typically Silas loves to gank level 3. It's a very common thing that they do in the early game, because Silas is heavily reliant on, you know, he's kind of like that cheesy pick where, you know, he just goes to the early kill and then snowballs off of that. So that's why it's very important to ping out a Silas in the early game. And we'll do some more pings in a second here, just so that we let our team know that he can be in the area and there's a chance that he can gank. So yeah, that's just something you gotta do. And there we go. There are the missing pings and the bot side of the jungle. We know he started raptors, so it's a matter of, you know, where is Silas going to show up potentially? Where's the most likely area to gank? And at around this time, you know, he's finished clearing his topside camps and he's most likely in the bot side of the map because he didn't, you know, do anything topside, right? So he's definitely in the bot side, clearing his blue, all that shit. And I'm trying to drop a ward here. I don't know. My fingers just weren't working there, but we drop a ward, and we could actually go for the counter jungle here onto the raptors. However, I don't like this idea because that means my own raptors are left exposed. So I want to come over here in case Silas is here, and then I can fight him and just potentially kill him. And this gives me more of an excuse to, like, you know, take my own shit. And I don't think I pinged this. Yeah, I don't think I pinged this. This was my bad, I believe. Allowing Silas to kind of just gank for free there. Probably could have pinged a lot more there because it was highly likely that upon finishing Silas's clear, you know, he would go for a gank. But I'm going to come along here after returning to the bot side, and we're going to do some fishing. We actually found a good chance to sneak behind the enemy here. And we are... There's no isolation here, right? But look at the hob damage. And so we're going to be able to jump on the Ash, and we flash out of the tower range. Last second to survive. Very good stuff, and that's what I was talking about. Hail of Blades right there. Just did work. So much work there. Really, really good stuff. And you could see, like, you know, what would have happened if I just went for Silas' camps here. I probably would not have found anything, you know. I would have been able to get the Raptor camp and probably the Krugs. And then I would just be on farming duty for like the rest of the game, which is like, it would have been a win for me, but getting that kill there is really, really good. And the decision to come down here in the bot side, really, really good too. So it was just a matter of like, alright, what's the area that I can be in where action is most likely to happen? And that area is the bot side of the map. You know, expecting Silas to go for the invade on my Raptors, you know, just trying to fish for something, look for anything. You know, you have to like search a little bit in order to find kills, and that's kind of what I was doing there. And so it works out. It won't always work out, but it works out there, and we get the kill. Very good stuff. Now here, it's another misplay by me, like not paying attention. Silas goes to the gank. I believe I did ping this, but I didn't follow up on the ping, so he ends up still getting the kill and the successful gank off. So I'm going to finish up my Gromp here and then go up and just cover this wave. Don't want to take damage from Darius here, and we can't kill him. He has ult. Actually, I don't know. No, did he ult the Darius? Can't even remember, guys. Sorry. But we're not interested in fighting here at this point. Darius is just too much of an issue at the moment for a little Kha'Zix to handle. If we had ultimate, different story there probably. But we're just gonna let him live, you know, we're gonna be a little merciful, and we go back and take our camps and try and progress towards level 6, which we'll get off the wolves here. Now, first item, I'm running Profane. I don't actually like running Profane first when I'm running like something Dark Harvest, when I'm not running Hob. I love running Profane when I run Hail of Blades, just because it's the you can Hob combo, right? So the Hail of Blades auto attack will speed up Profane's cast. And that is just chef's kiss to me. I just love it so much. The combination, Hob with Profane, yeah, that's the way to go, boys. That's the way. I actually find Profane to be a little clunky sometimes without Hob, mainly because it's an active that you need to cast. So you treat it like another ability, and sometimes that can get in the way of, like, you know, securing kills or positioning properly in a fight. So yeah. Anyway. So what happened here was my team got a pick, and we just did dragon, right? So it is my responsibility to take that dragon after my team successfully gets the kill, because I'm the fucking jungler. So I need to be taking these objectives, and really, you've noticed a trend here, and it's that we're not really too focused on fighting all that much. The main focus, ultimately, is just getting the objective, right? That's all that really matters in the grand scheme of things, right? So not only will the objective, like dragons and the grubs, not only do they count as a jungle camp, right? So they're good to take, but you know, over time, it's more about you know, over time as you take these objectives, the small little bonuses you gain from them is going to add up quite a lot as you progress in the game, and so. Yeah, basically just want to focus on getting the neutrals, getting the towers, opening up the map, and that kind of gives you, kind of paves the way for more opportunities for kills. You know, we don't need to force kills. They will come eventually. It's just a matter of when. So I'm going to pick up my Tiamat and see what we can do here. Nothing I really want to participate in here. Too much effort for that kill. So we're just going to leave here. We're going to take the crab. And I was full on expecting Silas to take the grubs here, but he chooses not to. And I believe he went for a gank instead, which is really bad. So I am going to find a nice chance to go on Darius here. Unfortunately, I can't save the Aatrox here. But we are going to get a kill and a cannon wave. Not complaining there at all. And I missed the cannon, of course. Fuck's sake. And yeah, look. The Silas definitely should have just taken the grubs here instead of going for a kill. However, You know, that's something people will often prioritize a lot, which is just going for like random ganks instead of actually taking the objective that is more important. And so because of that, we're able to just take away these scrubs. These probably shouldn't, we shouldn't really, I don't think we even, you know, should be able to take these, but they're up. The misplay from Silas, I mean, Silas, it's not really a misplay, right? But he had different priorities compared to what we want, so we go ahead and take that. And now we have a lot of camps to take, so we're just gonna go for a cheeky full clear. It's basically, I mean, Q all first, right? So we have a lot of DPS. I don't think, bro, how long have I been playing this champ? I've been playing this champ for like forever, and I don't think I need to talk about evolutions too much anymore. It's Q all first for the DPS, and there's a 4-man gank in the bot side now. This is, yeah, this is 100% a play that I didn't call out. I don't think my pings were good enough here. We recall, get profane, and the Dirk, so now we're extremely powerful. But yeah, that's a gank that is extremely obvious because Silas is nowhere to be seen on the top side, so where could he be? Right? Where the hell could he be? Obviously bot side. So that's 100% something that, you know, as we're clearing and stuff, we need to just be pinging. But unfortunately, I just, you know, I'm kind of warming up, not really aware of the jungle tracking at the moment, but that's okay. We go for a forced gank here. It doesn't work out. It's kind of my bad. Waste the Victor ulti. I don't want to use my ult there because it's not, that is a very sketchy gank. It's not guaranteed that we actually do anything there. So I don't want to waste my ult for something that's not guaranteed. And I'm doing a bit of fishing here. With dragon coming up in a minute, we're actually just prepping in advance for the dragon, right? So I'm trying to get a pick, and I'm just hanging around this area because I'm so fucking strong. I have Profane and Dirk with Hob, so if Silas tries to walk up, he's just instantly dead, basically. And yeah, I'm just continuously just sort of waiting around here. I'm looking for a pick, and sometimes you need to do this if you want to find kills. This looks pretty good. Braum hits the Q on the Seraphine. Lucian follows up, gets the stun, and I follow up with my isolated damage and pretty much just kill her in isolation. Lucian follows up with his culling, his ultimate on the Ashe, and then we jump on her for the kill. And that's, you know, that's the payoff for waiting around and looking for something. Sometimes you need to do that. And the reason I'm doing that now is basically just because I'm trying to get the dragon, right? That's the common theme you'll see this game. Everything I'm doing is revolving around taking the objective. Nothing else. I'm not just like waiting around there for no reason, right? So you won't see me just like, oh, there are no objectives up topside, I'm just gonna hang around and look for a kill on Darius, right? You won't see me doing that. I'm not just gonna blindly like hang around for a kill. I'm gonna purposely like wait around for the objective and prep for the objective, and if it means I get kills in the process, then, you know, just like that, you know, so be it. Very cool. Now I am walking up here. I basically just wanted to secure my top side here, but Darius looks mighty low and he's under tower. He's also ignited, so this looks really free. All I need to do is EQ auto attack, fan him, and he dies. However, I get E'd by Darius and then get one shot. I probably should have waited for his Conqueror to run out and all his stacks and stuff, because I just get E'd and then I just get one shot. I just get Darius there. That's definitely my bad. A bit impatient on my part. I probably could have survived and we just easily get the kill if we just wait. Yeah, definitely don't want to walk into Darius with all of his stacks up. It's just not the play. But yeah, alright, so Victor is walking down here. Looks like he's going to get a kill on Ashe. Very cool. In the meantime, Syndra's shoving the wave, so we don't want to miss out on this opportunity. We want to grab the wave, and this is how you further your lead tremendously, right? Just picking up the waves on the side where you can when your laners are roaming. It's just something that is extremely good to do every single time as a jungler, because not only are you getting lane XP like that, you're also you know, you're the only one that has access to the jungle as well, so if you can combine the two sources of income, you will get a massive lead eventually. But yeah, alright, so What I'm doing here, again, I'm just covering my top side because I noticed Silas was top. And I don't want him taking my top side camps. Unfortunately, I'm too late. So I missed the Gromp, unfortunately, because of that wasted... I would say that was definitely like a waste of time. You know, just going to that bush in the river and looking for Syndra. Definitely something I should not have done. And instead I should have just prioritized my camps. So, again, this is like an example of focus on your objectives. And we count jungle camps as like objectives, ultimately. Not as important as the neutral, like the dragon and the herald and shit, and the grubs, but still very important for you as a jungler to take. So, you know, we don't prioritize that and we pay the price. That's how it is. So here is a good lane gank here. A fight just happened in the bot side, right? So everyone's pretty damn low. I'm hanging around here. I'm actually going to get level 11 off this, so we're going to evolve our leap because we are no pussy. And, you know, QE, it's classic Kha'Zix evolution order. With Hail Blades, can't resist. With Profane, can't resist the combination. And so we're going to be able to sneak into the bush here after my team sweeps the vision here. Cool. Free kill. And this, yeah, because we have Evolve, we can just jump into tower. Braum was tanking as well, so very good stuff. I almost die, but somehow the tower's damage resets. I'm not entirely sure why that happened, but it must have been because it got destroyed or something. But I was certain that I would just die there, but I guess not. Anyway, so that play comes as a result of, you know, taking my, you know, having done everything I need to. Now I can like go onto the map and look for picks, right? I'm first prioritizing all of my camps so that I have my, you know, my farm is adequate, and then I can like look for other stuff. And so we're going back up to the top side here, doing our camps, and turns out the Darius is overextended, and the Victor's coming along here to help out with the kill. So very good stuff. We're just gonna jump on him there. Easy pickings. We have Ghostblade now and another Dirk, so we're extremely powerful. Plus, we factor in Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. We have 16 AD coming from that, so we're extremely strong at the moment. And in that scenario, obviously jumping in on Darius is a lot more ideal compared to the previous encounter, because he didn't have his Conqueror stacks up and, you know, his passive and all that. So, yeah, definitely more ideal. So here, I thought this was killable, but Lucian dashed backwards, so I didn't take that into account. So we're not able to kill him there. Waste my ult. And honestly, a little bit dangerous because Syndra could have just blown me up. But I thought that was, you know, a decent play. And it's Mountain Dragon, so we want to try and get this. Ooh. Okay, first I shove the wave. Right? We shove the wave to get prior over the mid lane. And now it's going to be like a full-on, you know, 5v5 team fight. Unfortunately, Braum goes down. And that pretty much, you know, maybe I could have helped there. But the reality is that I don't have my ulti. So we're going to just prioritize playing off the mid wave. We try to get the tower, but Silas stops us. And in the meantime, you know, our team is just fighting. And you might be wondering, why don't I go over there? The reason is basically just because I don't have my ult. Like, I kind of fucked up. I fucked up pretty hard in the mid lane going for the Silas and wasting my ult for no reason when a kill was not guaranteed. And so we pay the price here, and we should really just let this go. But I'll tell you the reason why I'm contesting in a second. But first, let me just get hooked over the wall by Darius. So this is a dragon we absolutely should just leave. However, it's Mountain Dragon, and I don't know if you have played versus Mountain Dragon as Kha'Zix, but it's horrible. Sometimes it really messes up your kill thresholds, in my opinion. Like, I really hate when enemies get Mountain Dragon. It sucks. So yeah, obviously should have left that, but I tried just because it was Mountain Dragon, and we fail. Unlucky. So the reason I wasn't partaking in the fight there was because it was a full group to 5v5, and we were just like a pick down. Maybe I could have joined and potentially got a pick, and hung around. But, you know, we prefer not to do that because we're Kha'Zix, right? And we don't want to join, like, grouped losing fights when our ult is down. Especially, you know, especially when our ult is down, right? So, instead, what I did was try and pressure mid wave. We got a couple waves out of it. We got some damage on the tower. It's not horrible, but yeah, you know, could have been better. Anyway, we're gonna hang around here. Atakan is up, so that's why I'm hanging around here. We don't go for our camps now because we need to be around the Atakan to try and like contest it, and we do want to fight over this 100%. And we just kind of need to wait for our team and wait for a good opportunity. It's really hard though. This is a difficult scenario for Kha'Zix, especially with this evolution order, because this Evo order is focused on like getting picks and resetting. But if they're all grouped with a Seraphine, it's kind of a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie. So in this game, like a traditional Kha'Zix player would probably run like RW Evolve versus Seraphine, so they can be more useful in group team fights like this. But me, obviously I'm egoing it with QE Evolve. And you know, this is kind of how you make it work, right? You don't play into this 5v5 scenario. So we push the wave, actually get the tower. Enemy team gonna start the fight. Victor is actually destroying them in the choke point, so we find an opportunity to jump behind them and just reset all over them. I mean, this is just luck, really. This is just a misplay by the enemy team. We didn't actually do anything too dramatic there. All we did was just, you know, play to the strength of our character there. That's it. There's nothing special about that scenario at all. But I think you'll find that, you know, if I were to stay there and sort of like just hang around and do nothing, we would have gotten significantly less value out of that play. Am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? So in that scenario, we stay away from the group scenario. We push the mid wave, we get the tower, and then we run towards the Atakan, ready to contest the objective as the fight, you know, actually takes off. And this is kind of how you have to play this this sort of play style. We're a very squishy glass cannon, no utility sort of build, but we are also hyper lethal in the right scenario. So we play for those scenarios, and this is kind of the reason why a lot of Kha'Zixes think he's weak. Yeah, people who play Kha'Zix think in a lot of scenarios he is weak. Maybe card will not deal as much damage as you want, and you know, that's basically just because they're not playing to, you know, his strengths. They're not playing in the areas where he's strong, like we're doing here in this game. We're basically just not really giving a shit about, you know, all these random fights happening on the map, and we're instead trying to you know, fish for things that are more suited to our playstyle, right? Which is the QE, you know, QE assassin type playstyle. Anyway, so this is dangerous, right? I get jumped on here. I was fully confident that I was gonna die here. So what I do instead is I just send it on her. She's isolated. You know, it's either me or her that's gonna die. Sure, I could jump out like a bitch, but we're level 15. We have Sarutas. You know, there's so much we can do with our damage here, so I'm just like, screw it, let's send it. If we die, we die, screw it, it's fine. And turns out we survive, so that's just a limit test right there. Very good stuff. Victor doing amazing, killing the tower on the top side, bringing Silas over. This is amazing pressure by Victor, so we're going to take advantage of that and just go ahead and, oh, you know, take the dragon that's coming up in 10 seconds. We really want this. Also, it's mountain drag. Need that shit. So, yeah, very good. Quick touch on the build. Saruda's third, right? But you'll notice that I've just sat on the serrated dirk. This is so I can maintain the 3 lethality, you know, item spike, while also going into the Sarudas for armor pen. So this is something I like to do if you don't immediately need, like the Edge of Night, etc. You can just like sit on the dirk and then go into Sarudas, and what you have is a very, very high damage build that will, yeah, make sure your champ is just consistently dealing high damage. But yeah, so we're gonna fish here. These guys, walking out way too far. I'm gonna jump on the Syndra. And we want to jump on the Seraphine here too. Bit of a risky jump, Silas is here, but it's fine. Our team follows up. Lucian picks up the Seraphine. And that is perfect timing because the Baron is coming up in, well, right now. So, yeah. Before we do that, though, we are going to greet it. And we take this open wave. The beauty of having Profane is that we can take that really quick. I was trying to get 16, but we're 1 minion away. We missed the last minion. It's alright. 2 enemies are dead. There's really nothing they can do here. Braum is guarding the pit. I missed a smite, unlucky. But we are going to get Baron. And it really is that simple in a lot of cases, guys. I mean, we're kind of getting a bit lucky with the engages this game. But the reality is that we're still just playing to the strength of our character, which is, you know, going for those lone picks, not really committing too hard to the 5v5 team fights and all the group scenarios. We're just playing for that, maybe like, you know, 2v2 scenario or 3v3 scenario. That's where Kha'Zix shines, and that's what we're going for here. So we have Baron, we have Edge of Night, level 16. We have our Wolf, and now we are Thanos. So we are God mode here. We can just do whatever we want, basically. Within reason, of course, the main threat being the CC. And this is, you know, what we're doing here is we're just playing it very cautiously. Because we saw the enemy go hidden here. So we are not committing too hard into the Fog of War. In case they are like bush camping. That's basically just me being careful and making sure that we don't get randomly picked by like a cheese bush camp. And here is a scenario where we are not very useful. So what we do here is we basically just peel for our carries. We are here just sitting on the side. When the enemy team engages, we play front to back. We cannot engage onto the backline in this scenario. Instead, we just sit back and we try and help our backline with the enemies on them. And then we find our chance, we go to the Seraphine, try to jump on the Darius, but we get E'd again. And that's just Darius things, eh? You know, it is what it is. It's fine. Our Victor remains untouched because we're playing front to back. And yeah, you know, like sometimes that's what you gotta do. When you have this much damage, you're an incredible peel character as Kha'Zix, right? When you have a lead like this, when you know you're versing bruises or like assassins that have to try and, you know, go for the pick on the backline, you can be that, you know, like fantastic support for your team by just blowing up anyone that jumps on your backline. And sometimes you have to do that because jumping into the backline yourself is not really ideal. So yeah, people say Kha'Zix is not a good team fighter. Hard disagree. And in a lot of cases, Kha'Zix is an excellent team fighter. You just need to know how to play the fucking champ, right? But yeah, our last item is going to be Sundered Sky, just to keep us alive and try and yeah, basically just give us some more health, survivability. But we're going to look for some fights here now. Enemy team is picking a really bad fight here, so we're going to go ahead and just join in on this. It just backfires tremendously for them. We're going to just jump in, start cleaning up. Good stuff. Alright, so here, no excuse here, this is horrible. We try and go for a cheeky double jump play, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's fine though. We have our lanes pushing, and we are basically just going to end the game here. That is going to be it. So I hope this game is really good to play. I hope this game shows you that you can succeed tremendously on Kha'Zix if you can, you know, if you can cast aside the idea that you need to be like grouped at all times and constantly looking for fights, and instead just like play to the strength of Kha'Zix, which is going and taking the like the 2v2s and the 3v3s and the 1v1s, prioritizing your farm, prioritizing objectives, and ignoring like grouped fights like this, and you know, playing in an area where Kha'Zix is strong. I mean, this is a re-engage here, which I love doing with the R evolve. I get Zonya's unlucky, can't get my reset. That's fine. My team is popping off. Victor going absolutely crazy this game. GG. Yeah, boy. I haven't been playing a lot of League lately, so I'm sorry if videos are just like really inconsistent, but I will, when something new happens, I will be back right on it, guys. So thank you guys for watching. I will continue to play Kha'Zix. I hope this was informative and enjoyable to watch, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. Catch you later.